Tonight on KGW News, some relief on the fire lines of the nation's biggest blaze.
This is a very large footprint of a fire.
Plus, nearly 100 shots fired overnight at a Salem park typically full of families.
Scary. It's very scary.
Then the search for an arsonist who set a car ablaze in a Beaverton driveway. And later, we are just hours away from the start of the Paris Olympics.
This is historic. This is historic, and I'm just going to be taking in all the moments.
A look ahead to the first of its kind opening ceremony. We begin tonight on the fire lines in eastern Oregon, where rain helped slow the spread of the Durkee fire. That allowed crews to start to get a handle on it, with 20% of the largest wildfire in the country now contained. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. Last night's rain meant evacuation levels were lowered today, though this afternoon the wind still caused some flare-ups in spots. Our Alma McCarty traveled to Baker County, where firefighters say while they are making progress, there's still a lot of work to be done.
From Baker City down to Ontario, hundreds of firefighters tackle the Durkee fire along I-84. On Thursday, many focused their efforts in the northwest part after heavy winds Wednesday.
The fuels burning here are a mixture of grass, sagebrush, juniper, and some mixed conifer at the higher elevations.
South of the more than 280,000 acre fire, the largest in the country, teams assemble and coordinate here in Vail.
We've had extreme winds on this fire, which have caused extreme fire behavior on this fire.
Ryan Sullivan is Operations Section Chief. Despite the fire's growth, he's feeling more confident today with more favorable conditions for crews.
Fire behavior is moderated in places where the rain hit. So now we're actually going interior slightly off the I-84 freeway, going in a little bit closer where it's safe to do so. This is a very large footprint of a fire. Obviously, it's the biggest one, like they said.
Anthony Foster with the State Fire Marshal's Office is one of the many focused on protecting structures from the flames.
So in Huntington, not specifics, but roughly 300 some homes in there. So that was kind of our focus yesterday.
His team will stay on to contain and fight the fire until it's under control enough for local agencies to take over.
It's early so far, July, and you'll see us moving from fire to fire, all the teams. And so if you see us leaving an area, we've left it in a place where we can say, we think they can handle it, and we're moving on to the next area to help.
As of Thursday afternoon, the fire is listed at 20% contained, and that containment line is along the south part of the Durkee fire. There's still a lot of work to be done, and many crews are still out here fighting this, what is likely to become one of the largest wildfires in Oregon state history. And because of that, because there's so many crews still here, officials would like folks traveling along the I-84 corridor in eastern Oregon to be especially cautious out on the road. In Huntington, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Still good to see traffic moving there. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Safino. Matt, the wind's always a bit of a wild card. How are things looking right now?
They're dying down right now. What's really amazing is how visible these fires are from the weather satellite. Every one of these orange dots, one of the fires, the Durkee fire, easily visible, as are other fires throughout the state of Oregon and really throughout the West. In fact, the one that really stands out is down near Chico, California, the Park Fire, which has caused big issues for that community down there. So let's check out the winds in Northeast Oregon right now. They're really pretty light. The Dalles has a wind out of the west at 10 miles an hour. So the Gorge, of course, the windy spot. Ontario's pretty good wind at 15. But everybody else has really seen the winds back off. Now, if we look at the wind forecast for Baker City, for instance, through the evening hours, the winds are up around 18 to 19 miles an hour. But after that, they drop down to almost nothing by sunrise. And tomorrow should be a far less windy day compared to today. You can see all the smoke, though, from the fires burning throughout Oregon here. And again, the Park Fire just absolutely producing a massive plume going into southeast Oregon as well, joining with the smoke from our Oregon wildfires. So wildfire smoke, a big concern east of the Cascades, but we're also going to see it west of the Cascades tomorrow. For about one day, our sky is going to get hazy. We won't be breathing it. It'll all be a lot, but still, you'll notice that haze in the sky tomorrow afternoon. Also, our fire weather days have really gone up over the last century or so. 23 more for Central Oregon compared to what we had back in the 70s. We're all getting used to a lot of smoke and fire during the summer, right? Bottom line is this: the wind's east tonight, less wind tomorrow, more wind this weekend. David?
Less wind tomorrow sounds great. Thank you, Matt. Developing this evening, one person has died after they were apparently hit by a train in northwest Portland. Portland police say they found the man dead at Sherlock Avenue, Nikolai Street, not far from Front Avenue. The victim has not been identified. If you have any information, you're asked to contact Portland police. In Salem, 2 people are facing attempted murder charges for shooting a construction worker. This was around 1:30 this afternoon at the Arco AM/PM gas station on Portland Road Northeast. Witnesses told police they saw 34-year-old Rafael Lucas Jr. attempting to fight several members of a construction crew working in that store parking lot. That is when investigators say Lucas came back with an accomplice, Benjamin Constantino de la Luz, they say, and the two chased one of the workers inside. Police say that is when Lucas shot the victim in the head. Constantino de la Luz is also accused of hitting another crew member with a shovel who was trying to step in. The 2 suspects ran off but were later arrested. The shooting victim was taken to the hospital with critical injuries. The second worker suffered minor injuries. Also in Salem, police say multiple shooters fired nearly 100 shots overnight Wednesday at a park popular with families. Catherine Cook has the latest.
Shattered glass, crime tape, and boarded windows outside Salem's Riverfront Carousel. Inside, families gathered in spite of the crime scene. Salem police say around 1:20 Wednesday morning, 2 groups started fighting in the parking lot. That led to a barrage of gunfire. They shared this audio of the shooting, submitted as evidence. In all, officers collected 96 shell casings.
That's a lot. It seems like a whole lot in such a populated area.
Melissa Owens is one of many parents who frequent the carousel and the splash pad at Riverfront Park. While the shooting happened after hours, she says it's still unnerving.
It definitely will make me be a little more vigilant. You know, when I'm down here, you just don't feel as safe.
According to detectives, several types of firearms were used in the shooting and multiple vehicles left the scene.
It makes me really sad. We love it here. And the carousel, it's awesome. The kids ask to go to the carousel all the time.
Rachel Stewart says that won't change, but she worries about the neighborhood and the school nearby.
Our children go there, and it's really scary when people choose to do things that are hurtful to others.
Detectives are asking for the public's help on this case. Anyone who saw what happened or has information on the shooting is asked to call the Salem PD tip line. That number is 503-588-8477. In Salem, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, authorities in Washington County are looking for a person who set a car on fire in a Beaverton driveway. Deputies say they were called to Rockport Lane near Baseline Road and 205th Avenue just before 4 this morning. The caller said they saw a person dressed in all black running away. Fire crews were able to stop the flames from spreading to a nearby home. Call the Washington County Sheriff's Office if you have any info.
And this is an outbreak now that involves a few different counties in the state of Oregon.
Oregon health officials are dealing with a measles outbreak, the most cases the state has seen since 2019. Despite a widely available vaccine, the state health authority says several unvaccinated people have been diagnosed in the past 6 weeks. Right now, that includes 8 people in Marion County, 5 in Clackamas County, and 1 in Multnomah County. And a group protesting a deadly police shooting in Illinois vandalized the Portland Police Bureau's North Precinct last night. 9 people were arrested, most charged with trespassing and interfering with a police officer. The protest was in response to a sheriff's deputy in Illinois who killed a black woman, Sonia Massey, inside her home after she had called 911 for help. The deputy told her to put down a pot of boiling water before shooting her. He has been fired and charged with her murder. Well, new tonight, we are learning more about a disturbing dog attack in Northeast Portland that killed a 6-year-old boy, with the dog's owner, a friend of his grandmother, now facing criminal charges. John Adams is here. And John, tonight we're hearing from the boy's grandmother for the very first time. What did she tell you?
Well, David, it's difficult for her to talk about, actually. The owner of the dogs was a close friend of the family. She's trying to focus on the good memories she has of her grandson, 6-year-old Loyalty Scott, who she described as loving, energetic, and always able to put a smile on your face.
He was just all heart. All heart. He loved everybody and loved everything. He's the happiest kid I've ever seen.
Rena Scott says her grandson Loyalty also loved animals and riding his bike. But on December 5th, the 6-year-old was at the home of a family friend who owned 2 Great Dane Mastiff mixes who were kept in the garage. Loyalty typically stayed away from the dogs, but according to Portland police, on this day he opened the door to the garage and was attacked. PPB arrived minutes later.
They were greeted at the door by a woman who was covered in blood and had suffered some injuries trying to stop a dog attack.
Scott was at her job in Newburgh when she heard the news.
It didn't seem like it was real. It still doesn't seem like it's real, actually.
Despite PPB saying the owner of those dogs, 56-year-old Coco Miller, did everything she could to stop the attack, Miller has now been indicted on 4 felony charges, including criminally negligent homicide. Scott finds it difficult to talk about those charges.
It breaks my heart. In more ways than one, you know, not only because my grandson, but I've known her for so long. You know, our families knew each other. We used to spend holidays together, so that's hard.
In the aftermath of the tragedy, the Scott family has persevered, finding strength in the glowing smile of a 6-year-old the world lost far too soon.
I mean, he was 6 years old, but he made an impact on everybody and everything that he came in contact with. To me, he's still here. I wish he was here.
Well, Scott told me she would have never made it through Loyalty's death without the love and support of her 8 other grandkids. The 2 dogs involved in the attack have both been euthanized. David?
Such a tragedy on so many fronts. Thank you, John. To an update now on a gas leak in Vancouver this afternoon that forced residents of at least 10 homes near Columbia River High School to evacuate. Firefighters say it appears a contractor working on a water line accidentally punctured a major gas line around 4. Natural gas odor was reported as far as 11 blocks away. A stretch of Northwest 99th was closed through the evening rush. All indications were things were back to normal by about 7. No injuries have been reported. Straight ahead on KGW News at 11, we are less than 12 hours away from the start of the Summer Olympics right here on KGW. We'll hear from the athletes and Parisians about the flurry of activity to get everything ready for the big show. Then later, it's the Olympic hobby you probably never heard of. The collectors hoping to bring home something a whole lot smaller than a gold medal.